clown, honey?
Hey, what's up everybody? Steven here, aka Wild Eye Guy 85, here to do another review, this time for HI-8, which I'd like to thank everybody at Wild Eye for sending me this copy to review. HI-8, Horror Independent 8, is a one-of-a-kind 8-part anthology that brings together some of the most recognized names in shot-on-video horror from the past 30 years, capturing the creative essence of the golden era of shot-on-video horror filmmaking. Directors including Tim Ritter, Brad Sykes, Donald Farmer, Todd Sheets, Chris Sieber, Ron Bank, and Marcus Koch were each challenged to go back to their roots using only analog equipment while tapping into their decades of experience to tell fresh stories with a dark edge. Like the VHS and ABCs of Death series, HI-8 brings together the leading genre independent filmmakers from across the country to spin the terror on tape. There's the back. See if you can get a somewhat good look at it. Alright, I'll try to go through this quick. The first segment was called No Budget Films Presents, and that is the wraparound story where there are a couple of friends and this one girl. They're shooting a homemade horror movie. They're out in the park and she's, jogging alone. There's a killer in the area. There's like this little cave area that they shoot in. So they're just trying to get their shots done for their video as it starts out. And then it breaks into each segment. That one was written and directed by Brad Sykes. Then we got a segment called Switchblade Insane. That one's written and directed by Tim Ritter. This one involves a wife who discovers her husband is known as the Switchblade Butcher. She follows him, and she's not sure if she should put a stop to it. She doesn't want to call the police because he's such a good husband. Things have been a little rough, but she wants to make things better, and she gets involved with it. Not in the way that you expect. She doesn't put an end to it, but decides to join him. And then, of course, we always have our little twist of that, of what got them both involved in what they do. Another one after that is called A Very Bad Situation. And that one's written and directed by Marcus Koch. That one, there's a group of people who are huddled together in a garage, staying safe. There's this meteor shower, and it brings down like some alien creatures, and they're taking over the earth and infecting people, whether it's as a host or virus or whatever. You'll just have to watch and find out. So they're all surviving in the garage there. The effects for it are pretty good. Most of the effects in all these are pretty much bloody, gory. For what they have with such a low budget, I think that they did a great job. Then we have an episode called The Tape. That one is written by Matt Hill and directed by Tony Masalo. Sorry if I say any of these names wrong. I'm bad at pronouncing names. And this is where a guy, I believe his name was Matt, actually. Matt or Gary, one of the two. He worked at a video store that was shut down, and his boss let him take some VHSs that didn't have a cover to it, and he finds a movie called Bloodgasm, and it's, he thinks, of course, it's a movie, but it's pretty much like a snuff film of someone getting their fingers cut up and all sliced up, insides pulled out, anything you can imagine doing to the human body. And he's just watching it over and over. He gets really obsessed with it, and he thinks the movie should have a release, and he tries to track down the person who put it out, and he ends up going to the person who played the killer, and he gets dragged in to completing the movie. I'll just leave it at that. Next we got Gang Theme Style, which was written and directed by Ron Bank. This was a funny one. This guy, Mongoose, he's going up to this hospital or old age home. He wants to pick up his grandmother because basically the zombie apocalypse is going on, and she doesn't want to leave without her friends. And it's kind of funny how he's trying to get them into the van and they say it's too far and all this silly stuff going on. There's some really funny quotes from some horror movies. One guy quotes, "They live," aliens. You'll recognize the quotes when you watch it. I don't want to give them away, but I like that, how they did that. That was pretty funny. Next one was written and directed by Todd Sheets. It was called The Request. This one is about a radio DJ up all night taking requests to play songs when he gets a phone call from someone who in his past who has passed away. And he can't believe that it's that person, thinks it's a prank. And it's basically revenge from beyond the grave type of deal. Next one is called Thicker Than Water, which was written and directed by Donald Farmer. This one, we got a couple watching a movie, and she's scared, has them pause the movie, and she starts freaking out and arguing, just bringing up asking if he's over his ex-girlfriend, and he's like thinking she's kind of crazy, that that's a metaphor for his the movie is a metaphor for his past relationship, and they're arguing, and he says that, you know, I'm the only one for you, or you're the only one for me, everything else is in the past. And so she says, you'll do anything for me, and she ends up taking him to the garage where his ex is tied up, and she doesn't want her in his life at all anymore and wants to get revenge, and he doesn't know. He's freaking out watching her do stuff, and he may or may not side with his current girlfriend. Last one is called The Scout, written and directed again by Brad Sykes. There was one. Oh, I know. I skipped one because it was my least favorite of the bunch, that it could have just been taken out of the movie. It was called Genre Bending. It was sort of supposed to be a comedy, but the way it was portrayed wasn't really too funny, and the acting in it I didn't really like. Most of it had good acting, but this was the worst segment of it all. I'm sorry, but I'm just telling it how it is. The one that was directed by Chris Sieber, Genre Bending, this woman was being stalked, and then there were two stalkers, and the one wants to like rape and kill her and have his way, and she turns the tables on him. So you'll see if you watch, but I didn't really like it whatsoever. That one was kind of just a waste to me. Back to the last one called The Scout, where this director has taken out his girlfriend to like these sites and stuff when he was a kid and filmed on HI-8, and she gets a call saying that she's made an audition and she wants to make it back, and they're like out in this desert area, no cell phone signal, of course, and they get in a fight and they can't leave because something happened to their car where it's leaking and they can't drive, and they start arguing, and he's saying, you know, the only reason why you're with me is because you want to film in my you want to role in my next film. And she leaves. She ends up she's walking out trying to see if she can find any cell signal. She can't, and she doesn't see him when she comes back, and she finds his video camera. She watches it, and she sees herself watching something that happens that may or may not predict the future. So then we go back to the wraparound where they're doing all this is happening in between these stories, where the three friends were filming a movie. They run into this weirdo guy who they end up giving a part in the movie. And he just repeats like this story of what supposedly goes on with these murders, that they're sort of, I don't know if it was like supposed to be a true story that they were filming somewhat, or using the killer in it as inspiration for the movie. So we get back to that, and they all go off, and the girl, of course, forgets her bag in the cave and runs off on her aunt, by herself, and they go searching for her, and they may find a couple of bodies. Something happens. There's a twist. I don't want to spoil the ending. I sort of predicted what would happen at the end, but not in the way that it did. So, all right, this is getting kind of long. Thanks for sticking around. If you've seen this movie, leave a comment down below. I'll leave a link for Wild Eye, where you can order their films. Definitely check them out. And be sure to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time. Stay tuned for the Internet Movie Database information and trailer. All right, here we go. HI-8, Horror Independent 8. Came out in 2013, not rated. Runtime is 1 hour and 38 minutes. Segments from 8 of the leading indie horror filmmakers, including Tim Ritter, Brad Sykes, Donald Farmer, Todd Sheets, Chris Sieber, Ron Bonk, and Marcus Koch. Each director was challenged to go back to their roots, using analog equipment while tapping into their years of experience to tell a story that is fresh and edgy. Shot all over the USA, the result is a collection of tales that has something to horrify everyone. Let's see, it was given a 4.5, which in my opinion is pretty low. I give it at least a 6 or a 7. I mean, for what it was, it's basically just a low-budget shot on HI-8 video camera. So I don't know if the people watching it were expecting much more out of it, but I thought it was done for what it was, and the gore effects for something along those such low costs worked out pretty well in their favor, in my opinion. So we got the cast here: Vanessa Norcia as Lauren. She was in the segment Thicker Than Water, I believe. Elaine Huntington is Emily in segment Thicker Than Water. Mike Malloy was Ted in the same segment. Andrea Adams played Tara Sheets. Ashley Andell, Screaming Woman. I can't tell what segment they're cut off. That's so stupid. But anyway, Kristen Avery, female reporter. Kayla Barber, she was the jogger, bloody victim. Bobby Beach is Phoebe. Olivia Blake was injured girl. Mike Bernal played Gary in The Tape. Jay Barris was Tom in segment Gang Them Style. Alexis Cotting played Madison. Aiden Crane was Child on Beach 1. Ava Cronin was Ms. Jezebel. Melanie Dean was Girl 1. Sean Donahue was Radio Voice. Kathy Burke played Barbara. Tom Farrell was Guy 2. I think that was a very bad situation. Christine Renee Farley played Camille Rain. Anna Fitzgerald was the Nana. Billy Garbarina was Jimmy. Van Brunt. Steffi Grote was Jackie. Corin P. Hale was Plastic Wrap Girl, Bloody Girl. Trey Harrison was Zombie. So it looks like they're going into... Let's see, Chester Cause was played by David S. Hart. Travis Heckler. Go back. Hawker was Tim Strauber. Brett Jansky was Harry. Ronnie Jonah was Mystery Mistress. Trying to find like some more of the main characters. They're getting into extras here. Andre Martin was the weirdo in the wraparound. Let's see who we got here. You can go ahead and read the names as I scroll by. Let's see. Baker Chase was Brett in the wraparound. Let's see. Who else? Wes Reed was R.J. Mongoose. He was in, I forget which episode, but he was the one that was trying to rescue his Nana during the zombie episode. Paul K. Richards was in the wraparound, so that was sort of the main story of what was going on. Danielle Rosario played Andrea. She was the wraparound, another main person. Gang segment. Let's see. Mark Sauter was the Adrian in the segment The Scout. So, and then we got some victims, and that's it. All right. And I already mentioned the writers and directors while I was talking. So go ahead and stay tuned for a trailer. And thanks for watching. See you next time.
We must warn you, what you are about to see is quite graphic.
Action!